Okay, chorus, it is a modulation effect, and it's usually used to make a sound wider, to make it sound not just like one instrument is playing, but 2 or 3 or more instruments are playing the same thing, and that's where the name comes from. The chorus, it's played, or vocals are sung by a choir, and it's very typical to use chorus effects on clean guitar or clean keyboard sounds, especially if they are mono files, and just to make them more atmospheric, to add a certain sound and width to the signal. And that's what I prepared. It's a really basic clean guitar, just 4 bars of it. It sounds without any effect. It sounds like that. Yeah, and just let me show you what you can do with the chorus. And maybe just to show you what is happening in the stereo field, take a look here at these things. This is a goniometer, and this field here is a frequency goniometer, and you can see there's something happening, and if I turn it off, the signal looks like this. It's just in the middle. There's no signal on the sides of the stereo mix. So the chorus, as one part of its effect, is making it wider, adding more side elements to the sound. And this is done by creating modulating pitched and time delayed signals. And in this setting, like we're using it now, it's added with 55% dry-wet ratio to the signal, and it's only using one voice. You can also add another voice. I can show you that. And the second voice it's one more voice, and it sounds a little bit more out of tune. That's why I often prefer the more subtle effect of only one voice. The second knob here switches the feedback on or off. The modulated signal is going back into the input and modulated again with a little part of the signal. And that's something I really do like. Check out. With or without. Sorry. And I think that's really adding something to the signal without getting out of tune. It still sounds more interesting, more atmospheric, and nicer for this part, I think. And the third potty here, or knob, is making the modulation rate faster. It gets more of an effect, and you might not be surprised. I usually use a slower one, especially for such nice, beautiful parts. And width is clear. You can make it wider, but you always have to keep an eye on the goniometer. And I'm sitting here in the sweet spot of the two stereo speakers, and it gets out of phase if you're doing it too wide. Always have an eye on the widths, and I prefer to keep it somewhere between 50 and 70%. But still, you can see the low end is a little bit out of phase, and that's a nice situation you can fix with a multiband tool. I have prepared this with a multiband routing tool and system, an HOFA system, and I'm just working on the frequencies below 300 Hertz, and I'm making those frequencies more narrow, and this way they are still in phase even with the chorus. This is without. It's getting red here. I'm making it on. So you can see the stereo width of the low frequency is still in phase, and you can also check whether it's still working in mono. Of course, you don't want the chorus to be mono in most cases, but still it should sound like a chorus when you turn it mono. Still sounds nice. It's a little bit quieter, of course, but it works like that as well. So, but of course, stereo is just much more interesting for a chorus. Okay, and just to finish this sound, I really would suggest use a delay as well in a slow guitar, clean guitar ballad like this. Just a nice ping pong delay with a ducking and a width of 55% in the plug-in, in the delay. And yeah, that's really nice. And finally, when you're using effects and comparing sounds with or without effect, just one tip: try to make up for the loss of loudness or gain or volume that you get with the effects. And just to really get an impression, I use a gain knob at the end of the signal chain just to make up for the loss of volume. So that's the way it sounds with all the effects. And without. And with effect again. And so you can see that's something that really can, increase the production value of your production, to make the sound wider, to leave some space in the middle for the vocals, for example, but also to create a nice atmosphere that really sounds much more interesting than without any effect. It's not for everything, and you can do it on every song, but if you're working with a clean guitar that's played like that, and the song fits to that chorus effect with some delay, is a great way to pimp up the sound of that one.